I'm excited about the chance to talk to you about this book that you've put together called The Carolina Table, writing about food. Two things that I love. But this had to be, tell us about the chore. What does an editor have to do when you're putting together an anthology of writing by 20 other people?
Well, I had a pretty strong idea of the type of volume I wanted to come out with, and the writers I wanted to approach, and the non-writers. And sometimes getting people to understand that vision, is not as easy. They can't just plug into your brain.
Well, what was your conversation like? You'd run into somebody at a party and say, hey, I'm doing this, would you help me? Or did you have an organized way and an organized description of what you were doing?
I tried to be as organized about it and that didn't always follow through, and sometimes you had to resort to 20th and 19th century methods to get people's attention. But most of the people were fairly receptive and got the idea. I mean, that was the important thing, to know exactly pretty much what we wanted and what we were looking for.
Your role is editor, and yet you have recruited some of the best writers in North Carolina. Did you have to do much editing?
Blessedly, no. I mean, there was some editing involved and some redirecting involved at times.
So what do you just write and say, this is close? Would you try, I mean, how do you phrase it? Would you try this maybe a little different way? Or do you just take a red pencil to it?
Well, you have to be as diplomatic as you can. and the best editors I've worked with have taught me that the best way to get something out of a writer is to flatter them initially and butter them up.
And so what do you say, oh, this is just so wonderful, it is great, go home and celebrate, but oh yeah, by the way, is that what
really? Someone has taken their time out of their busy schedule and put effort into something, you want to, appreciate it and share your appreciation. It's not just, a cynical tactic, but what you said works.
Well, now I'm curious about what you've learned about being an editor from being a writer in terms of, is that the way your best editors treat you?
The better editors, yes. Not all editors got the email.
And so they take the red pencil and say, you do it my way or we're not going to publish it or something like that.
Along those lines, yeah. But again, that's a very amateurish way to approach it.
I was curious when I saw this volume coming out about whether or not my impression that writers, for some reason or another, many writers, love food. Just that they love to talk about it and write about it. Is that?
Well, I mean, that's why I love teaching it, because people become unself-conscious. You ask two simple questions. What was your most memorable meal? What's your favorite food? If you're on death row, what's your last meal going to be? And
so this is not a pickup line, but it's a way when you want to engage someone in conversation. Maybe food is a good place to go.
Oh yes, because everybody eats.
Well, Randall Kenan, thanks for sharing this book, Carolina Table, with us, and we really look forward to talking to you about it on North Carolina Bookwatch.
It's been my pleasure.